Welcome to With That Being Said, a Roux fitness podcast where we get fit while having fun. Make sure to check us out on Instagram at Roux_fitness and on Facebook at Roux Fitness. Also give us a like, hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends, and give us a 5-star rating and review. Only kind words. Hey everybody, welcome to which version of the podcast is this today? It's not Pump Up the Jam.
Nope.
No.
It's not Eat the World. Eat the Day. It's not Eat the Day.
It's Member Spotlight, but we have to come up with a creative name.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Well, this is With That Being Said, a Roux Fitness podcast. This is a little bit of a different episode. Most of the people that come on the podcast have to earn their way onto the podcast.
I did nothing.
And this is Crystalyn's second week at Roux, and she's already on the podcast. So if you're other members, I accept forms of payment, such as coffee.
Yeah.
We're not very picky.
I like Built Bars. If you want to bring me Built Bars, although I have my own stash of Built Bars. So coffee, sushi, caviar.
All right,
Those
now
types
we're
of
getting a
things.
little bougie.
Okay, all right. So that's how you get yourself onto the podcast. No, there's plenty of awesome. All of y'all are awesome. Just some of you are more awesome than others.
Okay.
So, all right. I'm Bradley Schneller, founder
Forward, one step.
founder of Roux
Okay,
Fitness.
3 steps.
We also have with us Emily Schneller, Sarah Altabello, and our very special guest, newly minted Roux Crew member, Crystalyn Aucoin.
Yay! There it is. Welcome to the show, Crystalyn.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me. I'm
Quite
super
an
excited.
Intro. I was just saying.
You guys are a fun crew already. I'm just like,
No beers in.
We don't take ourselves too seriously.
I love it.
So as Bradley so eloquently stated, this is kind of mixing it up in that a lot of times when we do member spotlights, it's people that have been around in the community for a while, and you are in your first couple weeks.
Yikes.
And I thought it would be cool to talk about your story in life, but also your journey towards us and with fitness, because you are so new and so you're in it.
Yeah.
You have all those feelings that newbies have. And I thought it would be cool to just kind of explore that.
I just remembered why we asked her to be on the podcast.
Okay. So,
A+.
backstory. We at Roux have a process called a jumpstart session where we invite people in to come just check it out. It has, we do a tour, and we have a sit down session where we kind of go deep with our people and ask them, hey, what brings you in and how can we help you get to your goals? And Crystalyn said something in that initial meeting that I had with her that just made me sit back, and I was like, ooh, this girl has a story. Do you remember what you said?
I think I told you that I wanted to try this because I wanted to sort of push myself outside of my comfort zone.
Yes, bingo.
Yeah.
You were like, this is the year that I have decided
Yeah.
to push myself outside of my comfort zone. And the reason why it resonated so much is because we tell people that all the time. If you are in your comfort zone, you are not growing. And you came in with that mindset. And I was like, something has happened in her life to get her here. So I wanted to just talk about your story.
Yeah.
So let's just start off by what were your emotions walking in that day? What were your preconceived notions about CrossFit? Let's start there.
Okay, preconceived notion was this is going to be probably not for me, honestly.
Yeah.
I was because I knew I really wanted to start focusing on fitness and health and strength for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I'm getting a little too extreme here. I looked at a few gyms, a few places, and those were not for me. Obviously, that's why
When there's an entire genre of GIFs named after the exercise you're trying, I get it. That's called CrossFit fails.
Yeah.
Well, and you know someone here, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm friends with Keith Bergeron.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm kidding. We love Keith.
Keith was guest number 1 on the
He was.
podcast, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes,
But Keith
he
is
was.
very active on social, but he is
Yes.
doing all the CrossFit things. He's
Yeah.
like lifting heavy
Yeah.
weights, and that's what you saw coming into this.
Little did you know at 8:30 there is an entire population of people just like you.
It's amazing.
And we actually talked about that on the phone. She called and she was like, hey, like, what am I getting myself into? And I was like, you'll be fine. And if 8:30 is your time, you're in a perfect time slot because it's like women just like you.
My mind is still blown. I'm like, where did all these women come from, and how are they available to exercise right now? Like, it's kind of a weird time, like 8:30.
I got a funny story for you real quick. I'm just going to interject here real quick. So I typically try to get mundane errands run during the day so that I can maximize the time I spend with my family. Okay. Once every 6 months, I get my car washed. Okay. And it's funny because if any of you have ever ridden in my car, like there's all kinds of stuff you can find in it. So like one day,
Ask Stephanie.
Stephanie Rigney found a roll of packing tape along with a diaper. The diaper was clean, okay, but
Verify the state of the diaper.
yeah. There's also a knife in there and other stuff, so it's crazy amount of stuff. But anyway, so I go and I always talk about how Safari is always packed, and Emily's like, "What do these people do to wear?" This is before she
when
joined
I was
the gym.
working at
This is when she
Energy.
was working at Energy, and she's like, "What do these people do to where they can get their car washed at 2:00 on a Thursday?" And I'm like, "They're small business owners."
Yes.
So anyway.
Now she gets her car washed at 2:00 on a Thursday. So that's
Okay,
not true.
so you're going into this experience thinking this is not for me,
Yeah.
and yet you came anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I came anyway. I'm like, I'm just gonna again get outside of my comfort zone. My word of the year is action. I'm gonna take action.
Ooh.
Go.
Word of the year.
I like that you even have a word of the year.
Oh yeah, you can have a word of the year.
What was the word of the year last year?
It's embarrassing.
All right, so embarrassing was the word of the year.
No. Powerhouse.
Oh, I
Which
like it.
I felt like I might have been in my business, but not in like a lot of other things. But this year
We'll
it's
come back to
action,
that.
So just taking action. So yeah, well, I'm sorry, I forgot your question.
Just like, I just want to get kind of in your headspace.
Yeah.
The first like initial time you reached out, you said
Yeah.
you were interested. We talked on the phone. You get here. Like, what were you thinking?
I was first off when I got here, I was like, wow, this place is really nice for a CrossFit gym.
Thank you.
Like it just looks like it's just well put together, you know. And then when I met you, I was like, okay, like this is I could already tell it was my place. Also, I'm a businesswoman, so like the way you run this business and the whole technique of onboarding and sales and not feeling like you're being sold to, like the whole process. I thought you did an amazing job.
Oh,
like,
thank you.
Sarah,
I've been in sales like most of my
insert
life. and I was
rock
like, this is
gif.
great, right? But I could just tell it was like a well-oiled machine. It's more than just a gym. This is like you guys have built this business, which I always admire a good business, you know.
We're professionals here.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I'm starting to learn. Maybe no, I'm just kidding. Maybe some of you.
Damn. First Vanessa earlier, and now you. You had hanging out with Vanessa
Right
too
in,
much.
Crystalyn.
When we were prepping her for going on air, there were some funny comments made
Crystalyn right now is earning a second appearance on the podcast.
Yes, she is.
very quickly.
Especially if she brings us coffee.
Oh my goodness, you guys are funny.
Go ahead.
No, but I just felt like for what I wanted to try to accomplish, if I'm gonna like go and take this chance on myself to do something outside of my comfort zone, this is the place I want to do it. Like I could just feel it when I got here. Everybody was just nice and welcoming and not you know, I mean, this is a tight-knit community, but I have not felt like I was like left out by any means since I've been here. Like everybody's been so welcoming.
Yeah.
And that's I work from home by myself. Like that was part of me trying to find a good fit for me. Is
Yeah.
I also wanted the community aspect. I want to meet more people. You
Right.
know, I'm a single woman in my 30s. Like I can't just be sitting in my house, you know.
You heard it, fellas.
Working.
We'll post Crystalyn's Instagram handle right under here.
Well, speak to that. I coached you for the first time. I think it was Tuesday. And we had spoken a little bit before class. I kind of, just so we could talk a little bit more. And when people were splitting off to get their equipment, one of the 8:30 ladies pulled me aside and they were like, Crystalyn's new. Like, make sure, like, she's got everything.
Yeah.
They're like, take care of her. We like her. Like, we want to keep her around. And I was like, I got it. Like,
Hey.
That's so sweet.
it was really cute.
That's so sweet. Everybody's been so nice. I think her name is Vanessa.
Yeah, Vanessa.
She's
It
been
was Vanessa.
amazing. She's like my she's been amazing. Today I worked out with her little boy.
My arch rival.
No, he's joking. We love
Trip is
Vanessa.
great.
Trip is great.
When we were doing the rope climbs with Bradley's class one day, she's like, "Excuse me, can you do something else for her, the new girl?" And
She
I'm
did
like,
say that.
Oh, God. Oh my God, me.
Vanessa
It's like the
to
spotlight in the theater. Whoom.
Yeah. I was like, thanks.
New
You're
girl.
calling me out though.
No, I love
It's
that.
been fine. It's been wonderful. Today I try. I've been doing sculpt, so I love that you have that option of not just CrossFit but some other movements.
Yeah,
but
my
today
bad.
I did the CrossFit.
I didn't leave you a
you.
choice. I was like, let's just
Yeah.
grab a
Oh,
barbell.
Just throw her into
They
the
threw
deep
me into
end
the
to
wolves.
get out of her comfort zone.
Awesome though. It was so awesome.
Good.
I enjoyed it.
She looked good too. It looked good.
So all of these preconceived notions about CrossFit and it not being for you have kind of been squashed, yeah?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I can't see me like, I can see me getting stronger, but like some of the things people can do, I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that. But
Just wait.
right.
I was the same way when I walked in. I was
Someone
like,
mark this time.
We don't have a lot of
Thursday,
rules,
April
but
1st.
limiting your own beliefs
Yes,
is one of
that's
them.
true. Y'all, but I can't. So just to state it on the record, because if y'all might bring me back one day,
Oh, we are.
I can't even do a real push-up yet.
Most people can't.
that's okay.
So I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm
maybe
telling
next
you,
time I'll be able to do like 5.
when I started CrossFit 11 years ago, I identified as the person with zero upper body strength.
Yeah.
I looked at the girls doing pull-ups and rope climbs and lifting barbells over their head, and I was like, I will never get to
Yeah.
that place.
There you
know?
go. And I saw some pictures of you lifting some pretty hefty stuff.
Yeah.
The other day.
So never say never.
Right.
Good stuff.
Wow.
Okay, so you said I walked into this place and I could tell that there was more to this place than just being a gym. And I see that in your business. So we can. Crystalyn walked in her first day and she commented on my earrings and she was like, I have a pair of earrings really similar to that. So Crystalyn is a jewelry designer, has this business. So tell everybody what you do, because
For the record,
it's
I
a-
looked up her website before she ever came here, and I was like, oh, damn, this is nice stuff.
It's a jewelry company, but in the same sense that Roux is more than just a gym, I feel like it's more than just jewelry.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Tell everybody what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a jewelry designer. I sketch and design jewelry. A lot of people think I like hand make it, and I don't. I'm not that skilled at that level.
Also, that would take forever.
Yeah, I have manufacturers, but it's minimalistic gold, 14 karat gold, sterling silver jewelry. Super simple because life is complicated, and I feel like you should just be able to put your jewelry on and just go. I used to work locally at Aucoin Heart Jewelers, which is a high-end jewelry store. Would dress up every day, wear diamonds, all the things. And then I found myself where I am, have a little boy, I'm a mom, I'm working from home, just a whole different feel. And so I wanted to make jewelry that felt more authentic to that, to where I can just put the pieces on and kind of go. But it's also pieces that have meaning behind them. So a lot of my pieces will have meaning like gratitude or strength, based upon some like lessons in my life that I've learned, and also for the women who, my majority of my customer base is women buying jewelry for themselves. So typically they want to assign a meaning to it. Like if you're going to spend, $125 on a necklace, a lot of women won't just do that for themselves. They
Yeah.
want to be like, oh, I hit this goal in my business, or I had a baby or something to like treat themselves. So that kind of is cool because we'll just tie a meaning, have meanings tied to it. So they'll sort of buy something that's going to be memorable.
So
I don't think anyone else does that, by the way. Like, I've never heard that.
I mean,
I mean, other companies, like, I don't know. That's the first time.
But I love that
Yeah, it's
take
great.
that. I mean, I was identifying with it because I was just sitting here thinking like, oh man, my birthday last year, I really wanted to buy myself this nice piece of jewelry and I never did. And so I've been looking at something, and you just saying that, I like the idea that what I am purchasing has a lot of meaning, because if I'm going out of my way to do that for myself and it's nice, like it's to symbolize something big happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think enough women do it in general. Like jewelry just has this notion that a guy buys the woman jewelry, which is amazing. Like most of my career was built off of that. But now it's like me trying to empower women to say, not that you don't need a man to do it. Like, guys, still buy the jewelry, please.
One of my first Christmases with Emily, I bought her this really expensive necklace and earrings, and her response was basically, "I don't like this. You should return it."
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I knew he had spent so much money on it, and I didn't want to like hurt his feelings by not wearing it, but it was something that I would never have worn. It was like the first gift that he ever gave me. How did it work out though?
We got married.
There you go.
There you go.
The only jewelry I bought you since is like your wedding ring. That's it. I don't buy you.
Sarah bought me my necklace.
I don't. And I bought you your watch. That's it.
Well, think about it. Like, okay, a guy goes into a jewelry store. What do you buy the girl? It's so specific, you know?
I feel like it's pretty personal too.
It's very,
Very
personal.
personal.
And so, I mean, why aren't more women buying their own jewelry? Like,
I love that.
It represents you. It's fashion, you know? And then even beyond that, like with my pieces, like we have an edge collection. It's the reminder of sort of living on the edge, trying new things. You know, it's
Getting
like
out of your
motivation.
comfort zone.
Getting out of your comfort zone. Yeah. Yep.
Love
Do you
it.
do anything for guys?
Not yet.
Not yet. This to come.
You want to be the inspiration behind
Yes. Yes. Oh my God! I've
He
been
wants
waiting
a
my entire
pinky
life.
ring.
the Bradley collection?
Oh my God.
Second, third, fourth podcast,
Right.
you're in. Boom. Let's go. Amy is like slapping herself in the face right now listening to this.
Okay, so I love that your pieces have meaning, and I actually was looking on your site about specifically the strength necklace because, I mean, we're a gym. Strength, I think, resonates, right? But also, I think that a lot of what we try to do for people is to help build up their just mental strength as well. So I thought it was cool that you on your website were like, here's the story behind the strength necklace. Can you tell that story? Because I was reading the blog post that you wrote, like sobbing.
Yeah. So it's a deep situation, but
Yeah.
I lost my husband to cancer in 2016. So we had a little boy, Winston, who's 6 now, and lost my husband. And we had worked together. I mean, our life was each other, you know. We're both in the jewelry industry. And I basically was like, have been and am continuing to trying to rebuild my life after losing, you know, my best friend, my partner, my husband. And I was just sitting, outside, sort of like getting all the list of things I had to do together. You know, when you're in a partnership, you kind of share responsibilities, right? Of like household, kids, like all the things. But when you lose that, it's like, holy shit. Can we curse on here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But like, holy shit, like everything is on me. Like the list is long, you know? And so I'm just kind of like looking at all the things and feeling like super overwhelmed. And then I like look at my hideous garden and like things are falling over and overgrown, you know? And I don't know, I was just looking at this plant. I'm like, it's overgrown. It's like reaching, it's like stretching everywhere, but like I need to take care of that. Like that's another thing on the list. I don't do gardens. Like I don't have the tools. Like I don't know what to do, you know? Which is funny because I just bought some plants and they're all sitting just on top of the garden right now. I'm like, I'm not even going to dig a hole. I don't even know what to do here.
That looks nice.
Right. But anyway, I was like trying to like deal with this plant. I'm like, I'm just going to do it. Well, it has like these huge ass thorns. I don't even know what it's called, but it would like basically was like about to murder me. I'm like trying to cut it down and trying to like lift it up and all the things. So anyway, I realized I need to like put a stake in the ground, tie this, like it needed help. Like it was crazy. It was all over the place. It needed help and I needed to help the plant. Like, so I had to like trim it back, put a stake in the ground and tie it to the stake and like give it the support it needed so it actually could like grow and do its thing and like survive because it was just wild and overwhelmed, you know? And then like as I did that and like it took me a long time, I was like cut up and like looking at this thing, I'm like, oh my goodness, like that's it. Like we have the tools we need. Like we just need somebody and things in our life to like support us, but ultimately we are strong. And basically that stake in the ground gave that plant the support it needed, but like I had what I needed. Like I didn't have all the right tools to like deal with this big massive plant in my garden. it felt overwhelming, but I just did it. Like, and I realized like, well, actually I am stronger. I do have the tools. I can figure this out. So I just made that stick pendant. It looks just like you would put a stake in the ground. It's just a stick with a point at the end.
It's beautiful though.
It's so
like
simple.
beautiful and simple and yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, but it was just like that anchor and that reminder to me, like, I do have the tools. Like, things are going to be overwhelming, but like, I can figure out how to do it. I can ask for help. I can be resourceful. Like, I am strong. I do have the strength that I need. And so just to remember to sort of like hold on to that stake and just keep going.
I love that part of the way you define strength is asking for help.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people don't think about that.
It's so hard.
They think that they
Yeah.
need to do everything themselves
Yeah.
in order to be strong. And I think it is a huge act of strength to say, hey, I need some help here. I can't do
Yeah.
everything myself.
Yeah. And it could be one of the hardest things to do. But if you think about just your life in general, you literally would not be where you are without the help of people. No matter if you asked
100%.
for it or whatever. We learned everything we know from somebody else. You know, we've been supported our entire lives. And so it's just like taking the ego out and just being like vulnerable. And that's the hard part, to just be like, I'm down and out. Like, I need help, or whatever position you're in. But it's so important. I always have to continue to remind myself because it's hard.
Yeah.
You know, you want to do it all.
And you are so active in helping others too. Can you tell everybody about your Mine community?
Yeah, it's been pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Started a women's community this year. February we started. It's so simple because I believe everything. Like, life is so fucking complicated, right? Like, there's so much of a mess around. And so I just want to have this simple community that we get together once a week and we do guided journaling. So I give them a theme. Like, this month was clarity. And basically, we get together on Zoom. It's women all over the country, and I start with like a little story, and then we go into journal prompts that I do with them. We play music, and we just like have this moment where they just really tap into themselves, and then we connect with the group. So we say what we came up with, like what's you know. They might need support, you know, like, oh, this is what I'm dealing with right now, and women can support each other. And it's just like what they've said the most over the last 2 months is it's been amazing that they didn't realize they needed that quiet time to tap in and listen with those journal prompts, because they actually have a lot of the answers. You usually have a lot of the answers, but you don't stop to ask yourself the right questions.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, because you're so busy, everything's moving. So it's been a pretty awesome experience to just sort of get these women together. I think it's helped them. It's totally helped me, you know, just find community and do something that's like super simple, but making a big impact. So it's been pretty awesome.
Love that.
Yeah.
Speaking of community, I feel like you dove right into ours. I shared with you that our community is really cool in that we all support each other. So especially the people in our community that are small business owners. Aimee is owner of ALG Style. She does this thing called the warehouse sale, and she shared with me like 30% of her sales at the warehouse sale are all Roux members. And I was just sharing with you
That's
that
awesome.
it's just part of what we do is to support each other. But Aimee is leading up our Legacy Donor Foundation kind of auction items. So Wadi Gras is a fitness competition that we are putting on, and we have a charitable partnership with Legacy Donor Foundation. And we are doing a raffle, just like prizes, giveaways, and things like that people can donate towards the cause and get these gifts. And you just dove right in when you saw that call on our Facebook group, and we're like, yeah, I'll donate something to that. And I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, I'm so into. I love that y'all do that. I love that she did that, put that post up, that she's supporting that cause. It sounds amazing. If we're not working towards purposes and helping in a bigger way, like, why are we doing any of this? Like, that's the same with my business. We give a portion of proceeds to cancer-related charities because my husband died of cancer, you know. And I even, like, any of my customers, like, if they're like, hey, this is important to me, I'm like, how can I help? Like, you just have to, you know, even if it's just a simple thing. I mean, I think I just donated a necklace, you know.
Right.
No big deal, but hopefully it'll help raise a little bit of money. We can all do our part, you know.
It is a big deal, and we thank you. And thank you
you're
for
welcome.
just diving right into that.
I'm
Means
happy
a
to.
lot.
I'm happy to.
But
Nothing. I'm just, Crystalyn, you're an awesome person.
I'm just like soaking
I know.
in it.
I know. I'm just, there's
y'all
no
are
need.
so
I don't need to
sweet.
say anything. Y'all are this is great. Keep going, Em.
Y'all are sweet. Thank y'all.
what else? What else are you doing? If 2021 is the year to get out of your comfort zone, what
And
else?
take action.
Yeah, what else is on your plate for this year? What else is on the horizon?
So I had this like weird, bright idea all of a sudden that I was like, all right, my business is predominantly online. So I can really work from anywhere as long as, I have somebody to ship my jewelry. Then
Ooh,
we're
I feel
good.
like I know where this is going.
So I'm like, I think I just want to take my son somewhere for the summer, like for a month, just somewhere I'll work remotely. And so we're going to go to Breckenridge for a month, just him and I, like no plan. I have an Airbnb. Like I don't know anything about Breckenridge. I'm just going to go.
You'll know a lot by the time you come back.
And so I'm just excited. Like that's something that I would normally, like after losing Ryan, I feel like I needed safety for so long.
Yeah.
Because everything was just crazy, right? And he had been sick for 2 years. So our life was just upside down. Had a baby in the middle of all that. And then losing him, I realized really this year how safe I had been playing it for the last few years. And that's no big deal. Like, I don't feel bad about playing it safe. It's what I needed in that season. But it's like, this is a new season. This is a get outside of your comfort zone. This is try new things, meet new people, and really start. I'm a big believer in designing a life you love. And so this is part of me designing that life in this season is I'm going to go to Breckenridge for a month. I don't know why, but that's where we're
I'm
going.
why not?
I'm
Right,
envisioning you like putting a blindfold on and just being like,
How did,
Breckenridge. Like, how did you pick
Right.
Breckenridge?
I know. I had a lot of people. I was like, anybody, give me input, And I went to Vail last year in the summer, and it was beautiful. Like, it was so beautiful. So I was like, I really feel like the mountains. And we, like, toyed with the idea of Hawaii, but then if you get, like, COVID right before, like, everything gets... Yeah, and Hawaii's so expensive. Yeah.
It's
and
awesome,
Vail is
though.
so expensive. I'm like, I can't stay in Vail for a month, so we're going to go to Breckenridge. So I don't know. I just felt like we go to the beach a lot because we live close to the beach. But I'm like, the mountains just feels like, I feel like it'd be cool to just be in nature with Winston, our son, and like let him do hiking and just like kind of rugged stuff that we don't get in our like, swamp that we
It's-
live in.
Yeah.
I want to go back to like, so it sounds to me, losing Ryan, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
kind of like taught you to seize the moment
Correct.
and
yeah.
live.
For sure.
Like a lot of people don't enjoy the moment. They're always planning for what's next
Yeah.
and never living in the moment.
Yeah, and yes, and it's so hard to do even though. I think one of the biggest lessons from losing him was, like he even said it, he wouldn't talk about dying too much because he felt like he would then claim it, but he wanted to just always, so he would say, when I get better, he'd say, I'm not going to do anything I don't want to do. And I don't want you to either. I want you to do what you want to do. This is your life. Because he also had looked at me recently at that time, and he was like, was that it? Like, that's all I got? I mean, he was only 36 when he was diagnosed, 38 when he died. And so I just can see his face so clearly and remember him saying, like, do what you want to do. Like, do it. So seize the moment. Do the thing. Like, don't worry about what people think. The great part about that for him, I don't want to make y'all cry.
I know.
I always like get nervous about telling my story because I don't want people to cry, but it's okay if you cry.
I live my
because
life
this
like
is
that, but it pisses a lot of people off. I always tell Emily like that. I'm like, let's do what we want to do.
Yes.
Because guess what? It might piss someone else off, but that's temporary. It's going to affect us longer.
This is your life. And you guys are a couple, which is beautiful, but separately, this is her life, this is your life, and you have to be respectful of that, obviously, in a relationship. But communication of what you actually really want, like what your actual true desire is for your life, is your responsibility to do it. Like, nobody else knows what your truest desire is, and nobody can give it to you. It's like you have to claim it, know it, figure it out, and then do it. Maybe you need a little permission if you're married, or but like, do it. Why not? This is your one and only chance. I don't know. I tell people this, and it might sound a little bit weird, but I am so much happier than I had ever been I would give that happiness up for my husband for sure.
You mean you're happy with yourself?
I live in a whole different perception of life in general because of his life and death. Like he made me live a richer life. So it's because of him that I'm living happier and like really feeling the moments, taking the moments in. It's really all because of him. It's sort of like this gift I got from him that will always make my life richer. I would trade it for anything, but you know, people often say like, gosh, you seem pretty happy, you know, as a person. Like you would imagine like a widow never being able to be happy again. But you can be happy. It's okay to be happy. And the pain can still run like parallel to that. Like you're going to still, you know, feel pain and experience that, but it's okay to still like be happy too, you know? So I feel like it gets a little weird when I tell people like, I'm like really happy. But I'm really sad, you know, like that is okay to have both. They can run parallel.
I've heard people that have experienced like major grief say you never really overcome it. You just learn to move with the grief.
Yeah, for sure.
Have y'all seen the movie Inside Out?
Yes.
Okay, so have you seen it?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it follows this like 12-year-old girl, and her parents uproot her and they move to a completely different part of the country, and it's all going on inside her head.
It's
and
Pixar.
Each character in her head is a different emotion. So you have joy, you have sadness, you have anger, you have disgust.
Spoiler alert coming.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Essentially what starts to happen is sadness starts to take over, whereas joy has been kind of running this girl's motherboard. But what Joy realizes towards the end is that this little girl's best memories had other emotions there. They weren't just joy. Like this memory of her with her parents, it was prompted because she was heartbroken about something and her parents like rallied around her. And you can't put everything in these great little boxes. I mean, yes, that would be nice, but we can't do it. And everything is super interconnected.
Yeah, and things wouldn't feel as great if you didn't know what it felt like for it to be so bad sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like that appreciation for things come when you realize the other side of it.
It gives you that perspective that you need.
I think so, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to see that movie now.
It's so good. I will say I watched it with my husband recently, and he was like, this is a kid's movie? He's like,
deep.
this is really deep.
So the other thing I want to touch on is you said earlier, like when you walked into Roux and you came here, it like spoke to you in your gut, like you were in the right place.
Yes.
How much have you let your gut dictate a lot of your business decisions in the last 3 or 4 years? Because I could tell you right now, like I personally like make all of our big decisions based off of my gut.
Yeah, I do it. I love that. Yeah, everything.
And it's really like apparent the feeling,
a knowing,
you know?
Yeah. I believe that. Like I think you have like a true knowing, and it's so easy to doubt yourself, right? Like, well, maybe I don't know that, or what if I do?
That's people allow fear to creep in and keep them from doing these things. So
100%, and I've got a lot of that. I've got a lot of fear, but yeah, in my business, I'm very intentional about trusting my gut, trusting my pace. You know, you always want to be further along than you are, but like trusting that the pace of where the business is where it's supposed to be based on my gut, you know, like that I know I'm growing this business in a slow, organic, relationship building kind of way because I'm intentional about that, and I can feel when that doesn't align. Like if somebody wants me to do something that doesn't align with that, I'm like want to say yes to everything, but then I'm like, no, I got to trust that gut, right? And go back to that intention.
Boundaries are self-care, my
I
friend.
love what you just said about the pace and growing it slow and organically. That's actually how we grow Roux.
Yep.
There's a lot of gyms out there, and Emily and I are part of a lot of different like business groups for CrossFit owners, gym owners, you know, the business side of what we call boutique fitness.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that.
And, you know, the thing we hear about all the time is you need to be spending this amount of money on marketing ads and this per month and this per month, and you should be getting this amount of leads. And quite honestly, we haven't spent money. If we've been in business coming up on 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is 96 months. Okay. Out of those 96 months, we've probably spent paid marketing less than 5
Right.
out of those 96 months. And the reason why, and it's a conversation we have often, but the reason why is because we want to be able to service every new customer at the highest level.
And go deep with them.
Yeah, and if we have an
Yes, yeah.
influx of
Yeah.
a ton of people, then we lose the ability to have all those touch points.
Yeah.
And so maybe that slows our progress down, but in the long run, it makes us a better company.
I 100% agree, and I love that, and I can feel that intention and how close y'all are with your community, and I think that's what makes this place so special. That's what makes your business so special, and I agree. That's how my business is. Like, I sell to women all over the U.S. and Canada, but typically, if an order comes through, I know who they are. You know what I mean? Because I've already built a relationship with them online, or one big way I started building my business, I would go to personal development conferences that I was aligned with too. Like, I really wanted to go and hear the speakers and do the thing, and then I would network. I didn't get to do that last year, obviously, but it's because I know the value of the person. Every single person that wears my jewelry, to me, like, if I see, it doesn't matter if it's like a celebrity, like there's a New York Times bestseller wearing my jewelry right now. And now, don't get me wrong, it lights me up all the time.
Right.
When I see her on a magazine cover, I'm like, where's my jewelry?
That's awesome.
Or just a regular mom, wearing, like, it's about the individual person for me. And yeah, that might not be, people will say it's not scalable, is that scalable? And sometimes I'm like, okay, I do need to focus on scale at some point, but at some point, I write a handwritten note with every package. So, like, why you don't want to start that because it's not scalable? I'm like, I'm a small business. I can do it.
Well,
Why would
the
I
scalable
not?
part,
Yeah.
the scalable part would be you no longer write the handwritten note possibly,
Yep.
but someone else does,
Exactly,
right? So that
exactly.
the touch points remain the same. You just might have more people creating the touch points.
Exactly. Right. There's always a way to figure out how to do it, But yeah, I think the intention of the relationship building is huge in business.
We there's a lot of different like software products that boutique fitness facilities can use. Sorry, 3 times fast. And I mean, a lot of it is like autoresponders via Facebook, text messaging technology, which we do use. We use it in a different way. You've
Yeah.
received some.
Yep.
Okay. It just a lot of automation. Okay. But what a lot of small business owners forget, what?
Go ahead.
Yeah, is that what makes us special is that when a lead comes in, Emily picks up the phone and calls that person.
That's why I was laughing, because I did that the other day. I immediately called this person and she answered the phone. She goes, "Oh, you're a real person." I'm like, "Yep." It's not just like an automated thing.
I love it.
We've had a lot of people move here to Louisiana and come to Roux and say that we were the only gym that picked up the phone and called them.
Wow. Yeah.
Or, I reached out to 5 and you're the only one that responded.
Yeah, I think that's terrible. But
Yeah.
Right.
And even Jana's role at Roux is membership success and making sure that people are achieving their goals, right? And I told Jana, like, I could set up an auto responder to like reach out to this person in month 1 and month 2 and month 3 and just like with an automated like text message or whatever. But I would rather have you do it and look at like how often they're coming to class and look at where we have written down what this person's goal is and like make a connection with them. I don't want it to all be automated.
Yeah.
Yeah, even
I love that.
even the people Jana doesn't really know because
Right.
she's not here in the morning. She'll look up and say something. I saw you got a PR yesterday.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Yeah.
Like she'll go that extra step to make that personal connection, and it makes a big difference. And we
Huge.
see the responses from the members because of it.
Yeah. That's
100%.
huge. Yeah.
You want to feel seen.
Perfect. People want to feel seen in all aspects of life. They want to be seen. That's exactly right. Yep.
we talk about that's like my number one thing with all of our coaches is for the members to feel like they got coached. Now, y'all might be sitting here and say, well, why did you use that word? And because here's the deal. If there's 30 people in a class and there's a 60-minute class, when you put all the stuff in, that's less than 2 minutes per person, right? So the reality is not everyone is actually getting progressively coached in a class,
Right.
okay? However, there are ways for everyone to feel like they got coached. So whether that's
their
just
name.
right, saying their
Heard,
name,
is
yeah.
your coach asking, how is that weight? How does that feel? How, you know?
So when
you
I walk
got
into
it?
when I walk into the gym and I hear quiet, well, we're gonna talk after.
Good stuff. So more than just a gym and more than just jewelry, to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm so excited to be here. Like, seriously, this has been.
So
Yeah.
what kind of advice would you give to someone who's in your shoes or was in your shoes?
Yeah.
Okay, because I believe we didn't touch on this, but you were checking out Roux for years, right?
No.
Oh no.
She just known Keith for a while.
Okay,
Saw
okay,
him posting
all right.
about it.
That's
Yeah.
someone else.
Get in where you fit.
But what would you say for
Years
someone?
ago, I would have been like, why would you even be looking at this place? You're not going to do this, you know? So.
What would you say for someone that's like might be fearful or have trepidation to come into an environment that they might think is a little bit more difficult than what they can actually accomplish?
I would say, I mean, that's how I felt. Like, is this going to be too hard for me? Because I did feel very weak. Really, I'm not a fitness person at all, and I had like a weird illness in 2019 that affected my muscles, so it really made me feel very weak. And I would say, you guys have showed me it's possible. Like, you said in the beginning, Emily, you were like, there's a modification for everything, you know? And there has been. Like, if I can't do something, it's like climbing the rope, and then Bradley like throws outside. He's like, I just made that up because, because I got called out by Vanessa. He's like,
Sounds about
try
right.
this. And it was like something that I could do, you know?
Yeah.
So I would just say try it. And if you want to get stronger, like it's up to you. You know, it's like a mindset thing. I'm in a season that I'm like, hey, I want to get stronger. And the only way I'm going to go do it is go somewhere where I feel accountable. Like, I could go to get a gym membership and like go hang out on a treadmill or something, and like I've done that in the past and it didn't get me anywhere. Like this, I get upset. Like yesterday I couldn't come, I didn't have enough time, so I went for a run instead, but I was so upset. I wanted to be here so bad, and I've never had that feeling.
She's drinking the Kool-Aid, y'all.
Yes.
So I would say,
Working.
She's been indoctrinated.
I would say get here, get in, and just try it. Like, even if you tried it in and it wasn't for you, it wasn't for you. But for me, it's been amazing. It's been more. It's exceeded my expectations, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see. I always say this, and it sounds really funny, but I'm like, I look at my body. No, I'm not happy with my body by any means, but I'm like, you have potential. So this place makes me feel like I can get stronger. Like, I do have potential, and yeah, I think people should definitely.
You
check it
will
out.
get stronger.
You will get stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
anything else to add, ladies?
No, that was lovely.
Yeah, this
Thank
was
you
good.
so much for being
That was
here.
real nice.
Crystalyn earned a second spot on the podcast. So
At least
look forward to that next
She's
one.
gonna be like the John Goodman of like
Yeah.
our podcast.
SNL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So, all right, y'all. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all for having me. Seriously, I appreciate it. Like, y'all have like
Oh.
welcomed me with open arms, and I
What can you
appreciate
give us the Instagram
Oh,
handle
yeah.
for your jewelry?
it. Sure, it's Crystalyn Aucoin Jewelry.
Nice.
Super hard to spell.
Don't
or
worry,
anything.
we're gonna link all of that, y'all.
Yeah, and then my website is womenbyjewelry.
Oh,
That's
yes.
Oh, womenbyjewelry.com. I didn't know that. I knew
Well, it's
Crystalyn Aucoin.
CrystalynAucoin.com. It's the same thing, but
It
It
forwards.
redirects.
it redirects because
Yeah.
people can't spell my name, and that's okay.
Aucoin is hard. Yeah, so
I
Schneller.
love that.
I got it. I want to end it on one final thing. It's just I meant to ask this question earlier, but we were in more of a serious part of the podcast, so now this is the fun part. Was there like a Metairie Road rivalry between Boudreaux's, Aucoin Hart, Sue's?
No, there's no competition.
Oh!
Boom.
I love it.
I love it too. All right, y'all. Peace out. You heard it here. Aucoin Hart is the only place to get your jewelry. Everything else, womenbyjewelry.com. Check it out. Bye.
Bye.